Now here is another talk YQ gave, and what is notable about this is that YQ and his supporters share this particular video as some kind of proof that YQ does not compromise on LGBT. But listen to what he actually says.
If they want us to join their rally for their civil rights, this is a deeper topic, and my position has been very clear from the beginning, since the Supreme Court allowed this. Muslims, we don't have to get involved in every political issue of this land. And I personally am against endorsing LGBT rights unconditionally. Sometimes it's better to be quiet.
Listen carefully. He says, I am against endorsing LGBT rights unconditionally. So does he think we can endorse them conditionally? That's what he said in 2015 and in multiple other instances. He has said that he personally cannot endorse, but if other Muslims want to support Qawmlut rights, he cannot condemn that or say that it is haram. In fact, according to Qadhi, there is a lot of benefit for Muslims because more Qawmlut rights somehow, some way, magically means more rights for Muslims.
The issue of politics in LGBT does become complicated. In a more technical sense, so much can be said. There is a spectrum of permissible opinion from a theological perspective. Those who want to rally against it, I see where they're coming from and I understand it. Those that are technically saying, I will support the political right, but not the moral right. This is problematic insofar as it's very nuanced and very few people will understand. And you're sending a mixed message to your own kids. Do you really think your children will understand? I don't support you morally, but I support you politically. But still, those who do so, I can't say that they are sinful in the eyes of Allah. They might be unwise, they might be doing something foolish in the long run, but morally speaking, they haven't crossed the red line in my eyes. This is my opinion, my ijtihad. That those who say the American government has no business dictating morality, and therefore I will say the American government should have nothing to do with who gets married and what not, I personally believe this is a dangerous position because you send a double message to our community.
So according to Qadhi, there is a spectrum on supporting LGBT rights. Those like me and all of you who are listening, inshallah, who say we have to oppose these rights, he says he sees where we're coming from. But those who say we should support LGBT rights, people like Jonathan Brown or Ilhan Omar or even himself in 2015, he can't say they are sinful in the eyes of Allah. What's funny is how he doesn't acknowledge that he is talking about exactly his own view from 2015. He was one of these people that tried to separate morality from politics.
I actually agree with Linda here is that I understand the American government should not be in the job of policing morality. I support the notion that the American government is not in charge of morality.
Okay, so you're not opposed to same-sex marriage?
Politically, yes, but morally, I don't agree with this. So there's a distinction.
But as a law of the land, you're not.
I agree.
Campaigning to change the law.
Of course not.
Those that are technically saying I will support the political right, but not the moral right. This is problematic insofar as it's very nuanced and very few people will understand. And you're sending a mixed message to your own kids. Do you really think your children will understand? I don't support you morally, but I support you politically.
He is literally quoting himself and saying that this is a dangerous view. That's exactly what you're saying in front of Linda Sarsour and Mahdi Hassan in that Al Jazeera interview. But now Qadhi wants to pretend like this was the view of others. In fact, he throws Linda under the bus.
Well, the interview there is public. So actually, you're right, this is public. So it's Linda Sarsour's discourse, right?
Yeah.
And here in England, we actually had a nice conversation about this. Like, look, I said I understand what you're doing, and I disagree with these issues because you do give an ambiguous message. When you say politically, we don't want the American government to get involved. And you never bring, I said, we know this, she never brings in Islam. She never says Islam allows this. She never says this, right? So I said, I appreciate that and she herself, she's not wanting to reinterpret the faith. That's not her job or role. But she's saying politically, I want the government to not get involved, right? The private private issues between men and women or whatnot. This is not the government's role to do. Their freedom is our freedom, basically. Their freedom to do whatever is our freedom to do that. I say I understand this, but it is also, please understand that we also find issues problematic with this.
Yes.
And of them is, you do send a double message to our younger kids.
Exactly, yeah.
Right?
That was exactly what you said in the Al Jazeera interview and elsewhere. That's not what Linda said. Linda Al-Miskina was just sitting there. You were the one spewing this garbage. It's funny how Yasir thinks of himself as a historian, more like a historical revisionist.